Okay, it's been suggested that we enact a moratorium on the solar farms. I have the. Do you want me to read it off?
Yes.
Okay. The purpose of this local law is to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the town of Stafford and to maintain the status quo as to certain solar energy uses. As the present zoning regulations in the town of Stafford do not adequately address this type of use. The moratorium will stop the processing of applications for and the issuance of any permits, certificates of occupancy, and approvals for certain land uses related to solar energy, including but not limited to solar farms. The moratorium is for a period of 6 months, allowing the town board to analyze and determine potential appropriate revisions and amendments to the Town of Stafford zoning code concerning this use. Section 2, legislative findings. The Town of Stafford Town Board does hereby find that without a temporary halt on the processing, permitting, and approval for certain solar land uses, there is the potential that such uses could be located in unsuitable areas within the town and or on particular lots without adequate dimensional regulations in place. The potential for unsuitable location of and lack of proper dimensional regulations for such uses would have material, adverse, and irreversible impacts on the town. The town board also finds that it is in need of time to perform the necessary analysis of potential types of solar energy facilities that could be located in the town. By maintaining the status quo regarding such uses, the town board can provide for the planned orderly growth and development of the town. Section 3, moratorium imposed applicability. For a period of time of 6 months following the effective date of the adoption of this local law, no application may be processed and no permits, certificates of occupancy, approvals, denials, determinations, or interpretations may be issued or granted for any land uses relating to solar energy, including but not limited to solar farms. The term land use related to solar energy shall be broadly construed to include any facility designed to generate electric power to be marketed, sold, or used for other than the power demands of the improvements on the property on which the facility is located. Not included within the scope of this moratorium are solar energy facilities designed to generate electric power solely for the use of the improvements located on the same property. That's an important paragraph. The term solar farm shall mean a collection of solar panels covering 1/4 acre or more of land that are designated to capture sunlight and transform it into electricity. This definition includes freestanding and ground pole mounted photovoltaic and parabolic solar installations. This definition does not include photovoltaic panels that are mounted on or affixed to residential dwellings for their use or municipal buildings or existing panels mounted on commercial or industrial buildings. This local law shall be binding on the town board, planning board, zoning board of appeals, building inspector, all town officials and employees, and any applicant or real property owner in the town desiring to apply for or receive a permit, certificate of occupancy, or approval in the town of Stafford. During the period of the moratorium, the town board shall endeavor to complete all reasonable and necessary review, study, analysis, and, if warranted, revisions to the Town of Stafford Code. During the period of the moratorium, no applications will be accepted, nor permits, certificates of occupancy, or approvals issued which would authorize development within the town for land use relating to solar energy as described above. Section 4, term. This moratorium shall be in effect for a period of 6 consecutive months from its effective date. This local law shall be subject to renewal for a cumulative period of up to an additional 6 months if necessary by resolutions of the town board. Section 5, effect on other laws. To the extent that any law, ordinance, rule, or regulation or parts thereof are in conflict with the provisions of this local law, including all provisions of Article 16 of the New York State Town Law concerning special use permits, site plan, building permit, and certificate of occupancy, procurement, and requirements, this law shall control and supersede such law, ordinance, rule, or regulation. Section 6, waiver. Owing to the limited scope and duration of this moratorium, there is no provision being made in this local law for any waivers to its applicability. However, the town board may, but is not obligated to promulgate regulations by a resolution of the town board authorizing a hardship waiver process to this moratorium. Severability, section 7. If any clause, sentence, paragraph, section, or part of this law shall be adjudged by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid, such judgment shall be confined in its operation to the clause, paragraphs, sections, or part thereof directly involved in a controversy in which such judgment shall have been rendered, and the remaining provisions shall remain in full force and effect. Section 8, effective date. This local law shall take effect immediately upon its filing with the Secretary of State in accordance with New York Municipal Home Rule Law. So this isn't going to happen today, but I mean, we have to go through the process, send it to the planning board. And,
can you say who wrote this moratorium law?
I can't. I don't know who wrote it. It was submitted by our attorney. But who actually authored it, I don't.
So has everybody here seen it before tonight? So we've all studied it and we're happy with every section of it?
I guess a motion would be in effect to start the process, whatever is necessary. I'm sure the planning board needs to see it, but we can send it on to them. Motion?
To send it to the planning board, is that?
Yeah, send it to the planning board and start the process.
So moved.
Councilman Matthijs,
Second.
Councilman Pan. Any further discussion?
Clarification on, so for instance, the zoning officers, if they have been in contact with some of the solar salespeople or the people that are coming into town, are they supposed to suspend their interaction also with those people from the industry?
As soon as this is enacted, as of right now, we have nothing. There's nothing on our books that allows us to permit it. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
I think my question was more like, I thought that some of the people here in this room have been in contact with some people in the industry, and I wondered if that would be suspended during the time of
I don't know.
Anybody can call us and ask if
Yeah,
they
they
don't
can-
put in an application.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about here.
So we have no application.
No.
No.
Okay.
And timing would be, it's got to go to our planning board, and the county planning board, then a public hearing, and then a vote on the law.
Probably a couple of months down the road, actually. Let's do a roll call on that.
Okay.
Councilman Mullen,
Yes.
Councilman Panic,
Yes.
Councilman Matthijs,
Yes.
Councilman Pacer,
Yes.
and Supervisor Clement.
Yes.
Passed.
And should anybody, this one paragraph in here, the term land uses related to solar energy shall be broadly construed to include any facility designed to generate electric power to be marketed, sold, or used for other than the power demands of the improvements on the property on which such facility is located. Not included within the scope of this moratorium are solar energy facilities designed to generate electric power solely for the use of the improvements located on the same property. I think that's,
This doesn't cover, if somebody wanted to put solar panels on a residential roof, that's
yeah, this doesn't
still, okay.
cover that. Okay.
Maybe there should be an advertisement for people to volunteer for the study group that would go along with moratorium.
I don't know.
You have to advertise the public hearing, you know.
We'll have a public hearing.
Probably that should come, you know, if the zoning board needs more help, then,
Yeah.
I mean, planning board,
Planning board.
sorry. Planning board needs more help.
There's a lot of, I've already done some research, there's a lot of information online. I've been,
On both sides.
yeah, on both sides,
There's a lot
yeah.
on both sides. I got a stack.
Yeah. Well, size of facility setbacks, aesthetics, the whole bit, so there's plenty to work with.
Just like any other, we want to keep build to the scale where you keep the effect on your own property.